Rich, it's January, and of course, January always is a time to reflect on the previous year and what's to come. So
Yes.
I'm curious to hear what you have to say about gold and silver from 2023 and what's going to drive them in 2024.
Well, it's kind of an interesting year that just passed, to be honest with you. It started off, it seems like forever ago, with a bit of a banking crisis. And that led to a run to safe haven gold in the first and second quarters of last year as, Silicon Valley, Signature Bank, First Republic all failed, major bank failures in the US because of the rapid increase in the interest rates by the Fed. That's what triggered that run on those banks and the fact that they couldn't handle it. And then come mid-year, everybody figured, well, problem solved, everything's okay, and attention turned back to equities, but kind of with a wary eye because the Fed was still talking higher for longer. And it basically kind of put a cap on how high the equities markets could go and how high gold and silver could go for a good part of the year. In the fall, of course, we had the attack on Israel by Hamas that triggered a safe haven run to gold. And then in December, as kind of a Christmas gift to the markets, Fed Chairman Powell and the Federal Open Market Committee basically talked about how they wanted to do three potential rate decreases in 2024. And that lit off the party for the holidays. The equities market surged again. Gold rallied to new all-time highs at 21.50 an ounce, and everything looked wonderful until early this year, late last year, the notes of the Federal Open Market Committee meeting came out, and they said, we think we're going to keep these rates here for a while before we start decreasing them. That just kind of threw water on the fire, doused everything. And that's kind of where we sit right now. The equities markets are still fairly strong, although they ended the year on a downer. Gold is still fairly strong, although it ended the year on a downer. And silver, heck, it finished worse than it started last year, but it kind of held that ground. And then Janet Yellen comes out, Treasury Secretary Yellen last Friday, and I don't know if you're ready to celebrate, but apparently we have achieved a soft landing.
Wow.
She told CNN in an interview last week that what we're seeing now, I think we can describe as a soft landing, and my hope is that it will continue. And the troublesome part for me is what she went on to say. She said wage increases are running over price increases now. American workers are getting ahead, and the progress for the middle income families is very noticeable. Charlotte, what planet is she living on?
I was going to ask you the same question.
She needs to compare notes with the Fed because they are on two completely different playlists here. And she's not talking from the same sheet of music, obviously. And I can tell you that, from what I see, I don't know, maybe I've got it all wrong, but it seems like middle class is struggling mightily here. They're running up debt on their credit card. We have credit card debt at 20+% interest rates, highest interest rates we've seen in decades. And people are running those cards up because they can't make ends meet. Their wages are not outstripping inflation, and inflation is not dead. We have not achieved a soft landing. So I think the Fed's got it more right than Janet Yellen does. I do think they're going to continue to hold this as long as they can, even though it's tough for them to service the debt at these levels of interest rates. But at some point, we're going to have to see a decrease in rates. And I think when that happens, gold and silver will really shine. And I thought that would have happened, last year, at least with a pause. We saw a little glimmer of that just on the news that the Fed might cut rates. Now that we may actually see a rate cut, imagine what the move in gold and silver would be then when we saw new all-time highs just with the thought that they might this coming year. It's time for people to start thinking about investing in both if they haven't done so already.
Your team, Rich, has put together a resource for our escape artist readers, and you have updated it for 2024 investment strategies for the global nomad and
Yes.
focusing on gold and silver and how you can invest in them safely, questions to ask. It's a fantastic resource. and it is now live in our store and people can go there and purchase it. I'll have the link below for when people watch the video.
Yeah, we have a lot of experience. You've been in business 42 years. I've been with the firm 27, and we learned some lessons along the way that we don't want you to have to learn with your money and your tears. So we try to share some of those thoughts with you, so you don't make the same mistakes we did, and you can benefit from our experience.
Excellent, Rich. We always appreciate that and appreciate your insights as always.